find the joy. You are listening to The Competitor's Brain. This is Lauren Fox, and this is episode number 34. I am now recording this for the 11th time, and if I can get through it without laughing, that will probably be better. But yesterday we talked about the obstacle becoming the way, and how oftentimes when you realize that you're not good at an aspect of the craft that you're trying to master, sometimes it can get frustrating and you stop. And sometimes you just dive headfirst into whatever you're trying to master and you master it, and then you truly can find the joy in whatever you're doing. So today we're going to talk about Novak Djokovic, the legendary tennis player. And this story comes from Billy Oppenheimer's Sunday newsletter called 6 at 6 on Sunday, which he's a research assistant, helps out Ryan Holiday. But the story involves Novak Djokovic, who quite possibly the best tennis player ever to play the game. 421 weeks at number one. The man has won 24 majors. But would you believe 14 years ago, he was ready to quit the game of tennis. And all that would have sort of been erased if he had said he was done. And his coach asked him when he told his coach that he was done, his coach said, "Why did you start playing the sport?" And the coach knew him well enough to know that Djokovic was stressed out. He was way too focused on rankings and records, what other people thought of him, and what the expectations other people had, instead of really just playing for the reason that he started playing. And Djokovic took a second and thought about the question and started to think about many of his earliest childhood memories that included what he called his most beloved toy, a mini tennis racket and a soft foam ball. Djokovic started playing tennis because he really just loved holding the racket in his hand. His coach asked him, "Do you still love holding a racket in your hand?" And Djokovic thought about it and then said, "I do. I still love holding a racket in my hand. Whether it's a Grand Slam final on center court or just playing around on a public court, I like playing for the sake of playing." And his coach said, "Well, that's your source. That's what you need to tap into. Put aside rankings and what you want to achieve and what you think others are expecting of you." His coach then suggested that he take a few weeks off, but Djokovic said that he would. The next morning he woke up and like a lot of us who truly love a thing, instead of taking a day off, he sort of snuck out and went out and wanted to go and play. So he went to some public courts and went to play just for the sake of playing. And Djokovic says he never looked back since that moment. He stopped looking so much and being so concerned about what other people were thinking. And then the next year he enjoyed one of the best seasons in tennis history. And the reason that he was able to accomplish that was he started to play freely, he says. He became the kid that he was when he started playing. Now you think about whether you're selling something, whether you're playing basketball, baseball, football, tennis, you name it. If you play with joy, if you play with a sense of enthusiasm, it becomes way easier to play the game well. It becomes fun. Roy Campanella said about the game of baseball, it's a man's game, but you have to have a lot of little boy in you to play it. And when you think about it, you have to have that enthusiasm, the unbridled enthusiasm, the love of the game, the passion for the game. If you can find the joy in it, it makes it that much easier to work on the things that you're not as good at. Ultimately, that's what's going to take you to a point of success. And whether it's extrinsic rewards that it brings, things that you get, or just the feeling that you've mastered something and you've gotten better at it, either way, you're going to wind up better for it.